Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this grandstand special. Moonee Valley races, unfortunately, postponed because of snow, as you probably are well aware. And today we'll be bringing you grandstand instead of from Moonee Valley Racecourse, as we usually do, from the studios of Channel 7. We will be incorporating racing from Mornington, Queensland, Adelaide and Sydney. They'll all be shown live to you, and we have a most attractive panel in the studio today. Probably thankful that they're not out in the winds and the wilds of Melbourne, they're out in the mounting yard there at Moonee Valley, and we say good afternoon to our racing panel now.
Good afternoon, Bill. We have an industrial problem already. I'm refusing to work without a telephone. I can't contact my telephone betting account, but we'll get by, and particularly with the aid of Jenny Chapman. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Keith. How are you?
You've had months in Brisbane.
Yes, I spent about 2 months in Brisbane, and it was fantastic. The weather was great the whole time, and it rained one morning. One morning I got wet riding track work, and that was it.
Well, that's dream stuff, isn't it, in this weather? And of course,
be.
yeah, right. And we have with us the Professor Roy Higgins, who will keep your record intact. Good on you, Roy. Well done.
It's probably unfortunate, thanks for that, Keith, but it's for young Darren. You know, I thought of it this morning, really, if he was only 1 or 2 away from that record, and he had the chance today, which he did have some good rides as the meeting went on at Moonee Valley, would have been a great disappointment for him, wouldn't it?
Yes, but he did need 5 to equal you, Roy. He couldn't have done that.
But if he only had a couple of rides, and then the last meeting of the year should have been called off.
Well, he did a top job, of course, Darren Gouchy, to finish the season with 70 winners. But I must say, Roy, without letting your head swell a bit, that for you to ride 75 with the number of meetings that you rode at, that was a greater job, a greater effort. Yes,
well, it's going to be very hard to compare the record. You know, it's only a matter of time before Darren will break the record. I was really hoping that he would have broken it as an apprentice. It's probably not all that far away before we see a boy of Darren's calibre riding 100 winners in the metropolitan area. But he's a young man with a bright future. He can ride, 49 and a half kilos, sure. And there was, I think, 26 odd more metropolitan meetings than what it was back in '74. So Darren will set a record that he'll give someone else something to chase.
Incidentally, Jenny and Roy, Ian McEwen, the Chief Executive of the Moonee Valley Racing Club, will be joining us live in the studio to tell us about the future of this meeting that has been put off today. I understand that the executives of Moonee Valley will meet on Monday. It looks most doubtful whether the meeting can be saved for another day, but one of the points they will discuss, Jenny, is whether the Hiskin steeple can be saved. Perhaps it could be transferred to one of the August meetings they have.
Yes, well, that would be a shame not to see that actual race, because it's a terrific spectacle, the Hiskin steeples. So, if they can possibly save it and put it on maybe, I think they were talking about Thursday.
Right.
Is a video of that race, and of course your caller down there at Mornington this afternoon is Brian Martin.
Set and racing this time. Score Mercy began well. Centalic slow to begin. Got back to second last, settling down with Orange Prince last of all. Settling down Capital Statement, and on the outside of it Primitive Lady, and racing very wide Pon a Star. Over on the inside there is Score Mercy. Going around the outside, Zavada Zip starting to make some ground with Centalic, and they're starting to bunch right up in that bunch also Lucky Find. They've got about 1,000 to go, and Capital Statement went up on the inside to be just in front of Primitive Lady, and racing wide there is Pon a Star, followed further out by Zavada Zip. Behind them Centalic. Orange Prince goes around the outside and going up there home by midnight. Then Lucky Find, and 3 to Zenda's Dancer, Score Mercy, and about 5 last of all is My Eye. Coming down 600 to go, and they're stretched across the track where it's Centalic and Orange Prince racing up to grab Pon a Star. Over on the inside Capital Statement, followed by Zavada Zip. They've kicked away from Primitive Lady and Lucky Find, nearing the turn 450 out. Centalic the top weight out wide, got a length and a half Orange Prince from Capital Statement. Then Pon a Star, and they've raced away from Zavada Zip, and further back Primitive Lady. On the turn Centalic out wide, about a length in front of Capital Statement, back on the rail. They're clear of Pon a Star, and further back in the field Orange Prince, 150 to go. Centalic the top weight drew clear though. He's 3 lengths in front of Capital Statement and Pon a Star. The others all struggle, but he's too good, Centalic, and pushed right out by young Tronerid. Centalic wins by 5 lengths. Capital Statement second, 4 away third is Pon a Star. A gap Primitive Lady, Orange Prince, then Lucky Find, My Eye, Zenda's Dancer. Then further back Zavada Zip, a good gap in the field, Score Mercy. Just coming in Daphne Grace, never in the hunt, and last of all home by midnight.
Well, Cliff Fowler's horse there, you probably saw his big Texan hat there in the foreground. That's one of his multiple entries in the race, and it's stretching out particularly well in the run to the post. The track down there is very heavy, of course, at Mornington. and a very good win there indeed in the first race. The numbers were 1, 2 and 6. Race 1 at Mornington, and you're watching Grandstand, a special grandstand from the studios of Channel 7 in Melbourne, incorporating all the racing on throughout Australia that the TAB is working on today. You'll see it all live, and we'll be back just after this break. Now, one race has already been running at Mornington. We'll be crossing down to Brian Martin in just a few moments to get his preview of the entire card here today. The first race went number 1, Centulic, paid 95 cents for a win and 60 a place. It was the favourite. Second 2, Capital Statement, paid $1 and 75, and third number 6, Ponos Star, paid $2.15. First Quinella paid $7.25, trifecta $125.70. Now, the winning margin in the first was 4 lengths by 3 lengths. The very interesting thing about the first is the time. It was a 1,200 metre race for 2-year-olds, and the time for the 1,200 metres was 1:20.8. So the track is heavy, and certainly if you can find out who the mudlarks are, and Brian Martin will be sure to be able to tell us about that, they're the ones that you should be concentrating on. Good afternoon to you, Brian.
Hello, Bill. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And how's the crowd down there?
It's not too bad, Bill. The weather's quite fine down here. In fact, I think we'll probably get away without a shower. There's no problem with the track. They ran very slow time, as you mentioned, in the opening race. They were 10.1 outside the record. The winner, as you saw after race 1, did scout pretty wide after missing the kick about 1.5 lengths. But the rail's out 3 metres, Bill, and the penetrometer reads just on 7, which is the heaviest they've ever had down here at Mornington. The program, Bill, this next event coming up, 11, is the scratching number 11. And the race probably looks as though it'll go towards this filly by Vice Regal, and that's Minx Gone. Minx Gone did show good pace 2 starts ago at Moonee Valley, and then last start showed some speed for about 400 metres and then sat behind the lead in the race won by Love Astray. Just missed the place on the post at Caulfield last week, and I'd suggest that Minx Gone will probably get away with race number 2 here at Mornington. There is a good local tip for number 13, State Edition, by State Occasion, and the breed will handle the ground very, very well, and it's trained locally by Bob Armstrong, and that's a bit of a plus too. So our selections would be 10 from 13 in race 2. The first maiden, race number 3, the scratching is number 8, Prince Labby. There's one I like here called Little Lotto. It runs to its name. It's only a pony, but its last run, looking at the replay at Sale, was good. It had to race wide and made good ground on the home straight at Sale at its last outing. Number 12, Little Lotto. I thought the other chances were number 7, which is Laboot, and I gave a chance to Mevagissi, number 13, and they look to be the principal hopes, 12, 7 and 13 in race number 3. It is a maiden race though. The second maiden is race number 4. The scratching is number 12, Lona Star. Another one of Bob Armstrong's here, number 13, Misty Mine. Now, Misty Mine last start was checked about 800 metres from home and dropped right out and made very good ground on the run to the post, and I think if it does run up to that form, Misty Mine might even get away with race number 4 here today. Number 13, to beat 11, Ginny May, which raced out wide in the heavy part of the track at Cranbourne last start. And number 10, I put in for third, Velva's Orphan. This made a little bit of ground last start at Sale under similar ground. So 13, 11, 10 in the 4th. Now, the distance progressive, there are only 3 chances in my opinion, 4, 1 and 2. Again, trained by R.E. Armstrong, is a horse called No Anchors, number 4. He raced in on the heavy side of the going at Moonee Valley last start, hit the lead before the home turn, the race won by Boston Bay. The top weight's got a good chance, stays very well, will run the 2400, that's Rising Lad. And number 2 probably falls into the same category, and that's Rising Prince. Got a long way out of its ground at Cranbourne its last outing, ran wide on the home turn and came home well. I'd suggest if punters box the 3 of them there, 4, 1 and 2. For race 5, you might be close to the money there. The first leg of the double, I'm keen about Sherpa. They're all starting here. Finished a half a length behind Jutton Lodger last start at Sale. Jutton Lodger, of course, just beaten by Bricullo at Caulfield last week. Now, this does handle the ground very well. Has 1.5 off for Kay Ashby. Number 1 here, Sherpa. To beat number 4, which is Star Rondo, does race well first up, can handle the ground all right. And number 2, Brash Report for third, 1-4-2 in race number 6. The handicap is race 7. I don't really like the race. Bourne's Luck is a query at running out the journey, but handles the heavy tracks fairly well, probably well enough to win here. Number 5, Makes Sense, handles the going okay, a bit of a query at the journey. And number 2 for third, Royal Sea, 4-5-2, but could be a tricky little race, race 7. The second last is a good field. Lord Gruamash won at the last meeting here at Mornington. Missed the kick, came right around the outside of the field. And I'd suggest if they are racing towards the outside rail and running on, that Lord Gruamash will be at home under these conditions, number 3 in race 8. To beat number 1, which is Daring Fleet, I believe it had a bit of a setback after it won at Sale 2 starts ago and started favourite at Caulfield last week. It may improve today back here on the home ground. And number 7, Barnstorming. This is a restricted horse, but is coming up to open class today, but he loves the heavy tracks, 3-1-7 for race number 8. And in the final event, we've got another one of Bob Armstrong's here, the local trainer in Silver Kells. This horse won by 9 lengths in winning a race at its only race appearance at the Moe, and the ground was heavy there. Number 5, I put in for second, Quest for Glory, trained by Tony Krushka here. Made up a lot of ground in winning for this little lady rider, Diane Carter, when it won at Sale last start. And number 1, Go Speed, has to make the transition from 1600 back to 1200 today. Gets out of its ground, but does handle it going all right. 3, 5 and 1 are the selections there for the last. The day is quite mild down here at Mornington, and the crowd is building up, and of course the total betting facilities are available. If you can't make it, of course, we're here for Grandstand with the action right throughout the day, and the races are all back 5 minutes. So we'll go back to the studio and we'll join you for race number 2, and that's scheduled for 12:25.
Brian, thank you for that. And we'll believe it's quite mild when you take that sheepskin overcoat off down there. Reminding you once again, we'll be broadcasting all the races today from Mornington, also in South Australia, Sydney and up in Queensland. Great Note is 10, 10 and 2. Kakai Bang, 9.25 and 2.05. Brett's Netta, 12.25 and 2.95. Number 4, Cabernet Rose, or Cabernet Rosé probably, 15.30 and 3.05. 5, Cindy 12 and 3.05. 6, Research Again, 30.15 and 5.80. 7, Cindy's Guy, 4.65, 1.25. 8, True Token, 6.65, 1.70. 7, Dorliska, 10.20 and 2.40. Number 10, Mink's Gone, 1.10 and 70. That ran a pretty fair race in the city through the week. Number 11, Regal Tattoo is out. Number 12, Solace Bay, 11.65 and 3.50. And 13, State Edition, 2.25 and 65. There's only 8 minutes to that closing time of that pool. 15,600 the win, $8,080 the place in Sydney. Number 1, Merry Ruler, 2.50 and 80. 2, Cavalry, 1.15 and 60. 3, Gretzky, 10.95 and 1.90. 4, Big Blockade, 17.05 and 3.05. 5, Broadreach. This is one of Bart Cummings, was very impressive winning up at the Adelaide Cup Carnival. It's there at 1.55 and 65. So there were 3 of them there, the betting centred around. 1, Merry Ruler, 2, Cavalry and 5, Broad Beach. Number 6 is Orion, 8.55 and 1.95. 7, Bigamy, 13 and 2. 8, Bullet Train, 45, 45 and 6.25. 9, Latest Word, 63, 45, 8.60. 10, Old Feeling, 67, 15 and 10.10. And over the page to 11, Mr. Sound, 40, 40 and 5. Number 12, Double Decision, 143, 55, 17.50. Stagecoach is 81, 39, 15. Balmy Moon, write your own ticket, and the same applies for everything else down there. They're at very long odds indeed. Now, on his way out to the big football match today, Mr. Peter Landy. Good morning, afternoon, Peter.
I
thought it was Jack Elliott there for a moment.
I feel like Dan Webb in those.
Do you? Well, I don't know whether he's available at this time of the day.
You missed your cue there.
Where are you going today, Pete?
Going to the MCG, but also Gordon suggested Bill might need a little bit of information on the football.
The
ground is very heavy.
Yes.
Ground is very heavy.
I understand that. Now, and who do you fancy in the game?
Peter Donegan's leading our tipping contest at the moment. So
well, I didn't ask you that. I asked who you fancied.
I'm answering the question in my own way, Bill.
Go ahead.
So I've gone for Footscray because we have to make up a couple on him. Actually, I think they might be good things this afternoon.
Do you?
Footscray.
Against Collingwood?
Against Collingwood, yes.
We'll be calling the match with you.
We might have a small interest.
I think you might be up at opposite ends of the box. It's a very big game for both teams, Peter, because this game could almost decide which one of them makes the 5.
Yeah, it's what we might call an early season elimination final, isn't it, really, Bill? Because the loser's going to find it pretty tough. Actually, it is hard to tip against Collingwood. We saw them last week against Fitzroy. They looked beaten for all money at half-time, and then they came out and blitzed Fitzroy in the second half of the match, almost as if they changed jumpers. It's a totally different Collingwood side, and of course Collingwood have won 7 out of their last 8 under Lee Matthews, so they're going to be hard to toss, but I just feel the Bulldogs might be able to do it this afternoon if Rick Kennedy's fully fit.
They show Romantic Game, who'll be well known down here. Tommy Hughes trained, 165 and $1. Hadrian, 15.55, 370. Number 3, Adjuday, 45, 35, 15, 20. 4 is out. Number 5, Star of Fantasy, 9.33, 25. 6, Vinicius, 4.80 and 95. 7, Maori Warrior, 8.72, 30. 8, Mystical, 2.05 and 80. 9, Mr. Metal, 14.45 and 3.15. 10, Bowl Produce, 28.90 and 6.35. On page 2, 11, Don Henry, 24 and 4.75. 12, Blue Buster, 4.40 and 1.40. 13, Dari's Image, 6.70 and 2.85. 14 Rumbold 22.85 480, 15 Brolga Boatman 13.55 310, 16 Otira Bay 87.10 15.75, and number 17 is Unbreakable Heart 8.90 and 1.90. The win pool there so far 9,000, place 5, but there's still 19 minutes of betting to go there. Let's go down now to Mornington, race 2, Brian Martin.
Now Solace Bay is ready. Cindiat goes in. Minx Gone has gone into line, and coming up now, Research Again. Favourite here is, as I mentioned, Minx Gone in the yellow and red quarters, lilac sleeves and the red cap, the famous colours of Vite Cheval. State Edition races in the orange, black and white striped sleeves, and that's the order they run in the ring. Minx Gone from State Edition for favouritism. Just about ready now. Now the starter's almost got this field for race number 2 on the program. Research Again on the outside of Minx Gone. Towards the inside, True Token, Solace Bay, Barrier 1, and that black cap there is Dorliska. Cindiat further out with the Bretters Nita, and the lights on. Field locked away, race 2. 1,200 metres the journey. They're racing this time. Solace Bay won the start on the inside. Oh, Minx Gone has missed the kick about a length and a half. It was back second last, Minx Gone, when they settled down. Solace Bay and going quickly, True Token on the outside of it with further out Greek Note. Around the outside of the field, racing towards the lead now is Kakaya Bang, but out wide. Dorliska up with that leading division. State Edition back about midfield. Minx Gone's gone around the outside of it from Cindiat, Research Again, and last of all is Bretters Nita. They sort themselves out. Solace Bay just in front. Off the track is Cindy's Guy, 3 deep, and True Token the centre third. A length and a half, Minx Gone. Off the track, Kakaya Bang, followed by Cabaret Rose. Then over along the inside came Cindiat. State Edition back third, last hard ridden. Pulled to the outside, then in the field came Research Again, dropping out of a Dorliska and Great Note last of all. The leader over on the inside is Cindy's Guy, but Minx Gone went to it quickly, 4.50 out. They've raced 3 lengths in front of now in third placing, Kakaya Bang from Cindiat. State Edition back struggling, but Minx Gone held together on the turn, raced up and grabbed the lead. It's racing wide. Kakaya Bang is coming after it, and they're followed by Cindy's Guy, the rail. Then Cindiac, but Minx Gone the favourite, went to the front of the 200 metre mark and kicked 2 lengths in front of Kakaya Bang. Back to the inside, State Edition with Cindiat, but Minx Gone's in front with about 150 to go. It's got them safely beaten, and Minx Gone kept going, is going to win it quite comfortably. Kakaya Bang will probably, yes, it just got second. A nose in front of Cindiat, and about a head away fourth is State Edition on the inside. Then further out was Bretters Nita running on. A gap then in the field to Cindy's Guy, followed by Dorliska. Well back then was True Token. Back behind the field, Cabernet Rose. Coming in now, Great Note, followed by Research Again. And last of all, Solace Bay.
Well, a pretty strong win there to the favourite, who was always going very easily, Minx Gone. It looked the form horse after a very good run at Caulfield. It ran 4th to Love Astray, and so punters doing pretty well down there at Mornington with the first 2 favourites home. Very easy win to Minx Gone. Kakaya Bang on the outside, just to get second there in a photo from Cindiat. The numbers there should be 10, 2 and 5. 10, 2 and 5 it should be. 10, 2 and 5 should be the numbers in the second race down at Mornington. Now we have the full result of that race from Mornington. The winner, number 10, Minx Gone, paid $1.05 for the win, 65 a place. Number 2, Kakaya Bang was second, 165, and number 5, Cindiat third, $2.55. Quinella 7.15, and the trifecta paid $168.50. The winning margin 2 1/4 by half a head, and the time for that 1,200 metres was 1:21, and that was even slower than the first race. In the TAB Diary, number 1, Tadgement, $2 the win, 95 a place. Number 2, Flawed, $5.10 and 185. 3, Amarillo Slim, 8.60 and 285. Number 4, Paternal Comment, 21.35 and 5.35. 5, that's Aspect, 3.95, 1.30. 6, Princess Calabrina, 5.20 and 1.40. 7, Rostov's Son, 54.50 and 10.95. Number 8, Well Tuned, 2.95 and 70. 9, Plenum Star, 46.85, 11.50. 10, Gassama, 10.45 and 2.55. On page 2, number 11, Sister Moonshine, 79.95, 17.75. Number 12, Lady Rostov, 29.55 and 5.05. 13, Via Venetia, 15.30 and 3.55. 14, Durham Sun, 33.65, 5.70. And the favourite is one that you know here. You've seen it, Panda Bay. It's got a lot of ability. Number 15, it's showing $2.10 the win and $1.05 the place. And the win pool 16,591, place pool 8,635, and 12.55 that race. That's in 18 minutes. And down at Mornington, number 1 is Average Content, 690 and 235. Number 2, Camden Fury, 1745, 545. 3, I'm Foreign, 3360, 1175. 4, Cast a Fly, 1930 and 575. 5, Double Statement, 530, 195. 6, King of Heaven, 615, 215. 7, Le Boot, 275 and 115, scratch 8. Number 9 is Reticent, 640 and 2. Number 10, Super Dancer, 3 and $1.05. Number 11 is Welcome Dancer, 1950 and 595. 12, Little Lotto, $2 the win, 65 a place. 13, Mevagissi, 470 and 145. And number 14, Silver Stitch, 850 and 170. The win pool there, 8,000 at the moment, 6,000 for the place, and you have 19 minutes to that event at Mornington. Now, Sydney Race 2, we have the track looks to be in very good condition as the runners move into the stalls for this first race on the program. Now, Eagle Farm is the only one of the race meetings today where the times are as advertised. All other meetings, you can add 5 minutes onto the times as they are listed in the press. So the runner's almost ready. Your caller up there in Queensland today, incidentally, is Wayne Wilson, who always does a very wonderful job. And this first race on the program is called the Young Bloods First Division. It's a race for 2-year-old colts and geldings. And it's run over 1,200 metres. So it'll be quite a scarper. And the favourite there, as we saw on our screen earlier, was Mystical, as we go now to Wayne Wilson.
By Danny Brereton. Danny, the regular rider of Fox Seal, finished second in the Brisbane Cup on him. And won the big flying at Corbell Park on Thursday aboard the Noel Kelly-trained Rocky Mac. Bold Produce moves in. Mary Warrior is the only one out of line. 1,200 metres the distance of the first. Olga Boatman stands up well near the inside. Don Henry right up to it. Mystical and Vinicius. Hadrian, Well Behaved, Star of Fantasy, Diary's Image. Now here's Mary Warrior coming up towards the stalls. Mary Warrior about to go in. Drawn a little bit outside of centre. He moves in at the first attempt. They just can't get the gate shut behind him. Now they lock it, and everything is in readiness for a start. Race number 1. First of 8 races for the Tattersalls Racing Club. They're set to go. Starting signal given. Waiting on the starter to move over to the platform. In Queensland, the tote favourite is number 1, Romantic Game, 220 the win and 130 for the place. Set. Starter climbs the platform, ready to go. Line's good. They're racing, and near the inside, Brolga Boatman began very nicely. Romantic Game is showing plenty of speed, rushing up to go to the lead. Vinicius and Unbreakable Heart both began smartly. Mary Warrior, Star of Fantasy, and Blue Buster showing a bit of dash. O'Teary Bay's a little bit wide. Mystical getting back to midfield. Don Henry's next on the rails. Diary's Image going through in the centre, and then Rumbolt. Mr. Metal is getting back with a due day, and Bold Produce is last. On settling down, 7.50 to go. Mary Warrior takes the lead, a half length in front of Romantic Game. Vinicius is a half away third, and then Star of Fantasy and Hadrian, Bolger Broatman, followed by Blue Buster on the outside, and then Unbreakable Heart. Mystical's running about 7th over on the inside of O'Teary Bay, and then Diary's Image at due day. Further back came Rumbold, Don Henry, Mr. Metal, and Bold Produce at the rear. They set sail for home. 400 metres to go. Mary Warrior and Romantic Game there together, with the favourite going to the lead now, and he's riding him very confidently. He snuck a look over the shoulder. Romantic Game about a length in front of Mary Warrior. Mystical into the clear, running on fairly well, and Unbreakable Heart down the outside, and then Brolga Boatman. Romantic Game is still the leader with 100 metres to go. He wants to duck about a little bit in the straight. He pulls a whip on him. He's going to be too good. Romantic Game goes to the post to win it by a length and a half. Photo finished second and third. Unbreakable Heart may have got second, just in front of Mystical. Then Brolga Boatman, Vinicius, followed by Bold Produce, who made up ground. Don Henry next, then Mary Warrior, Mr. Metal, Diary's Image, back in the field at due day, and then Rumbold, Star of Fantasy, Hadrian, Blue Buster, and O'Teary Bay last of all.
Well, a good one there to Victorian Romantic Game, and punters are certainly hitting all over the place today in the early stages of the meeting anyway. Romantic Game drawing away there, running on pretty well in second placing on the outside, Unbreakable Heart, and third placing there to Mystical, or that's the way it looks anyway, with Unbreakable Heart running home pretty strongly. But sound win there to Romantic Game in the first race. Number 1 is the winner. A photo for second between number 17, which is the horse on the outside, and number 8, Mystical, which is over on the rails.
Sun breaking through the scattered cloud cover, but it's very high cloud. Little chance of any rain, one would think. Quite pleasant, really, though on the cool side. Now this light flashing away. Should just about go. Line settling, lights still flashing. They're off. Venetia stood there and missed it to some degree. And getting away quickly, Sister Moonshine, Gersama, Amarillo Slim began fairly. So too did Plenum Star, but getting back out wide. Durham Sun driving through with Well Tuned. Princess Calabrina was close. Handy Flawed was there with Venetia drawing in. They were followed in that pack too by Panda Bay. Just in behind those then came Lady Rostov from That's Aspect, who's got back out of ground, but working through them now after a moderate start. Then Paternal Comment, Plenum Star, and well back behind those Rostov Sun before the turn on the outside. Durham High, or rather Durham Sun, just the leader with Well Tuned. In behind them, Flawed, Princess Calabrina, Venetia, Gersama, and Amarillo Slim. That's Aspect hasn't enjoyed any luck at all. It's still trying to push its way through. Then came further back Tagament, followed by Lady Rostov. Durham Sun went to the lead of the 200, drew a length in front of Flawed, who's coming out after it now. Flawed is claiming them, and here's That's Aspect with a late run out wide, but it'll be too late. Durham Sun and Flawed fighting it out. Flawed just the leader. That's Aspect is flying, Budgie. This has been something rolled, and Flawed will get to the line by 3/4 to nearly a length. Durham Sun, a big run. Third home was a huge effort. That's Aspect. It was slow out and got into trouble looking for a way through, but flashed up for third ahead of Tagament. They were well in advance of Princess Calabrina, Lady Rostov, Venetia, Plenum Star, Panda Bay. Rostov's Sun, Amarillo Slim didn't do much at all. Well Tuned caved in, well back with those two, Sister Moonshine and Gersama.
Well, favourite there, Panda Bay. You can see it in the yellow with a black V and red cap, well back. Very disappointing in the race. And Flawed finishing on the outside just a little too well for Durham Sun. And That's Aspect running on pretty well into third placing. It's coming home better than anything, as a matter of fact. But number 2, Flawed, wins it from number 14, Durham Sun, and number 5, That's Aspect, 2, 14 and 5. Now, the winner was number 1, Romantic Game, was finished favoured on our tote, 1.25 and 65. Second, 17, Unbreakable Heart, $3.05. And third, number 8, Mystical, paid 70 cents. Quinella there, $35.20. And the trifecta in Brisbane, $249.55. Us down the tote results, the tote dividends, as soon as he gets them after every race in the program from Mornington today. All yours, Brian.
Thank you, Bill. Channel 7 joining us now. King of Heaven to come forward with Welcome Dancer. It's an open race, this one. 260 for number 12, which is Little Lotto. Drawn barrier 2 here, 260 and 95 on the tote. 13, Mavagisi has tightened in a little, this filly, 395, 135. Average contents 410. And the King of Heaven was around the front of the gates.